You already know what it is. It's your man Skyzoo, Skyzoo, live out the borough. You know what it is, man. I'm out here in B-More. Where's my 40acres.com.
I'm a part of how it's cut, like I'm part of the tool. And I'm the part that's in the front, like, pardon me, dude, the authentic.
Everybody in the crowd, they knew your music, they knew Frisbees. Niggas was yelling speakers on blast, like, ridiculous. People know. How does that make you feel, man? You've been in this business for a minute right now.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. You know, it never gets old. I was having a conversation with someone earlier, and I was like, you know, that never gets old. The day that feeling gets old, you either got to hang it up or get ready to be hung up.
Real
talk.
talk.
What I mean? Like, that feeling never gets old of rocking with the crowd and putting the mic there and then they know all the words, or them shouting out records, or them just showing that love, man. Like, it's always, you know, an incredible thing every time it happens, you know what I mean? So shout out to everybody out here that held it down with us, for real. It was an incredible night, man. I can't even put it in words, for real. Man.
You did the whole Cloud 9 3-Day High with Knife Wonder. That shit's a classic. Like, I asked you about Stop Fooling, because corner mixtape, and you had to remix the Jane too. I think my Jen Off the Corner was Never Sleep. That's one of my favorite tracks off there.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And then you dropped Salvation. Now Salvation seemed to be more like a personal, like, intricate album.
Absolutely.
Like, you was definitely coming more, like, you talked about your girl, you talked about experiences in your life and shit.
Right.
Like, where were you at that point?
You know what that is, man? The Salvation is like 25, 26 years worth of material. You know what I mean? And not material in the sense of I wrote it and sat on it, more so material in the sense of experiences. You know what I mean? Everything with the Salvation was written on the spot, just like everything else. I write everything on the spot. I don't write at home and hold it. I don't write in different places and wait. I write in the studio on the spot. You know what I mean? But when I say it was built up, it was experiences. You know, everything I talk about on the album really happened. Whether you listen to the opener, my interpretation, shooting.
Higher than I ever been, caught it while catching it. Trying to keep the court takes precedence, my interpretation.
The soundtrack, Metal Hearts, For What It's Worth, Easy to Fly.
For What It's Worth.
Every single record really happened, you know what I mean? So with that being said, it was a lot built up and waiting to just come out. You know, in the mixtapes, I came up in the era where, like, when Big came out, he made incredible mixtape records or mixtape freestyles, and he was just spitting and killing it. If you heard Ready to Die, it wasn't none of that. It was, yo, this is what we gotta do. Me and my bitch, things done changed, give me the loot, everyday struggle. It was like, yo, this is what my life is. These things is just to get you interested. You know what I mean? And it was the same thing. I took the same approach. So making, you know, mixtapes like Corner Store Classic or Power Words and things like that was all leading up to the Salvation. To make people say, yo, this dude can really, really rap. I want to hear his album. And then when you hear my album, you see I'm over here with it. Really just creating what the people call fuel for music. You know what I mean? So I feel like it worked. You know, people called the Salvation a classic right out the gate. You know what I mean? It wasn't even really disputed. People was like, yo, he did it. He made a 5 out of 5 classic. So to everyone who felt that way and feels that way, I genuinely appreciate it, for real.
Definitely. So then you came out and you did the whole Elmon shit.
Yeah.
Like, what was that shit? Is just like all over the place, man. You got speakers on blast. You got Frisbees. I'm gonna ask you about Frisbees in a second.
Okay.
But then you got Langston's Pen.
Yeah.
You got Krylon. Like, every song is different. It flows. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm all about projects, albums, and things being cohesive.
Right.
It all gotta make sense. It gotta flow. It gotta fit. It gotta link in and tie into the next thing. And with Live from the Tape Deck, you know, Drew High from Duck Down came up with the idea. He was like, you two should do an album. And we was like, yo, we really should. We've known each other for years and made music for years. Like you said, Never Sleep, Illmind did that beat.
Okay.
And we was like, yo, we should have been did this. Let's just do it now. Word up, we never thought of it, here it is. So we started working on it. Literally took us a month. We did it throughout the month of July. Took us a month, 30 days to do the record, you know, a couple off days here and there. But with me, man, when I write, I just write, man. The beat tells me what to do. So if I hear a beat like Speakers on Blast, I do that. If I hear a beat like Langston's Pen, I do that. If I hear a beat like Kitchen Table, I do that. The beat tells me what to do. I come up with ideas and concepts, but once I hear the beat, I say, okay, this needs to happen on this beat. This beat is telling me to go here or there or whatever. And it's a great album, man. You know, we didn't know what the response would be. I knew coming with an album right after the Salvation. And for the record, Live from the Tape Deck isn't a follow-up to it, because for one, it's me and Illmind, so it's a different mind frame with the project. It's more of a 50-50 thing. And two, you know, I didn't want to be as deep and intricate and storytelling as I was on the Salvation. That's gonna come. You know, I got an album called The Dream Deferred, which is the official follow-up to the Salvation. It's called The Dream Deferred. That's gonna pick up where the Salvation left off. But I wanted to do something in between that was just, you know, crazy and still hard and still knocking, but a little lighter on the content.
Okay.
So I wanted the content to be different, but I still wanted to kill them with the lyrics, kill them with the beats, and just bang, hit them quick. You know what I mean?
Which you
and
did.
I feel like, Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You know, I feel like we definitely did that, but I didn't know what the response was gonna be. And XXL came out, and they gave the album an XL, and they gave the album a XXL in the lyrics column. You know, they gave it a 5 out of 5 classic for lyrics. So I appreciate that, everybody at XXL. So once I saw that, I knew
But the response is gone.
we might be on to something again.
20 de-energizers.
20 C energizers.
D, not C, D.
C energizers.
D, motherfucker, D. Learn to speak English first, all right? D.
How many you say?
20,
Hey, the whole do the right thing concept on.
Yeah.
What was that? Was you just watching a lot of it, or did it just come to
you know
you?
what, man? I have 3 favorite movies in the history of everything. It's Do the Right Thing, Mo Better Blues, and Goodfellas.
Okay.
And with the summer in Brooklyn, you know, Ilmai lives in Brooklyn now. He's from Jersey. He lives in Brooklyn. He literally lives 3 blocks away from me.
Okay.
So we recorded the whole thing in his crib. He got turned one of his rooms into a studio. So I would just walk 3 blocks to his crib and record. In the summer, being in Brooklyn, being in Bed-Stuy, it just made me think of my favorite movies, and one of which is Do the Right Thing. And I was like, you know, I should base this whole album loosely around Do the Right Thing. So you hear that, you know, the parts right before Speakers on Blast, or right before Now or Never, and things like that. And some of the content, you know, I say it's sort of like we posted out in front of South's Famous, debating about the colors of the pictures on the wall. My Bed-Stuy shirt on, speakers getting their work on, and Sal begging me to turn my radio off. Like half of that verse took from Do the Right Thing and incorporated into my life. Then the other half took from The Wire, because I'm just such a fan.
Awesome.
So, you know, in the back of Orlando's was the strip joint, you know what I mean? So it all just tied in. But yeah, I love Do the Right Thing, man, so it made sense, you know?
Frisbees.
Yeah.
Look, the concept, like why? Explain for people who don't know why you call it frisbees. And then you told me on Twitter you wrote it in 60 minutes.
About
You a
maybe
beast.
a little bit more. Oh, man, thank you, man. Maybe about 65. You know what I mean? Something like that. It wasn't no more than like an hour and 10 minutes. It wasn't no more than that. About an hour.
I had to call that like a run-on pen, dog. 'Cause that's what it sounds like. The pen never stopped
That was
moving.
the point, man, and I'm glad you got it.
Changing it around and I'm astounded from where you place it. The placement was out of place. Just try to keep it adjacent to the couplet. Terse it, quatrain, cinquain, sestet, septet, octave, and then playing label at the 2 to 8. 8 to get you through the day. Double at it, you could cut up that and cut the move away.
You know, with frisbees, people always tell me when I make music, especially when they heard the Salvation, they say, yo, you go over people's heads, people don't get it. Some people do, some people don't. It flies over them, they don't catch it. It's, you know, it's complex, intricate, you gotta break it down, whatever. So I said, you know what? Just being the sarcastic person that I am in my personality, I'm gonna really go over their heads. And really just mess with people. Just play with them and be like, yo, you thought I was going over your head before, let's go. Catch this. So, you know, I really wanted to just take that idea and expand on it and really just go and just throw frisbees. So the title was Frisbees, like you're trying to throw you a frisbee, you're trying to catch it. Throwing out frisbees, show me you can catch it. Like, show me you can get this, because if you get this, then you'll be able to get records like License Pen and Kitchen Table and Crylon and things like that. So it all just made a lot of sense, you know what I mean?
You put a lot of work into this, like you really do, and you don't slack on nothing.
Thank you, man.
So we appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I mean, I pride myself on lyricism. I pride myself on being one of those guys that people say, yo, he gets busy. You know, when it's all said and done, this is the music business. It's the business of making music. So you gotta sell that music, and I understand that. And I'm all about that. I'm all about whopping out. I'm all about making sure we get a hand over fist. But at the same time, you know, I pride myself on being a lyricist. You know, and I pride myself on people naming MCs, and you start naming people nowadays. You start naming people that came out anytime after 04, 05. You gotta name them. I pride myself on that.
Yes, sir.
And if that happens and I ain't in that conversation, then either your ears is bad or my pen is bad. And my pen ain't bad, you know what I mean? So I gotta make sure I continue to do that. Now, at the same time, I'm all about being a fan of it. You know what I mean? I'm all about being a fan of the music. Because I think when you're not a fan of what you do anymore, you lose out. If I'm not a fan of the Sean Prices and the Pusha T's and the Lupes and the Torres and the different people in the world, if I'm not a fan of those people anymore, my game's going to slack. Because I'm such a fan of theirs. When I hear their shit, I want to go make some new shit. You know what I mean? When I hear them get busy, I'm like, yeah, son killed that.
When you be writing your stuff, did you really listen to the Purple Tape?
I did when I was younger. That's why I said, you know, in junior high, rock pennies, roll dice, doing a Purple Tape before I was going right.
Okay.
I was 13 when it came out. And, I definitely did. You know, I used to sit there and just vibe out to that. You know what I mean?
Cool.
I would listen to that and then do what I did, you know.
Okay, we getting a Rex Torre track anytime soon?
We could.
Okay.
We could. Those is both the homies. Shout to Rex. Shout to my brother Torre. We could for sure. You know what I mean?
Could you wrap up real quick, like your projects that are coming out that people can be looking forward to?
Oh man, well right now, Live from the Tape Deck is in the stores, on iTunes, it's everywhere. Best Buy, Target, everywhere you need it to be. Me and Elmine, make sure you go get it. Going on tour, doing some more touring after the Duck Down tour is done. Overseas stuff, Europe, Asia, things like that. And then just working on new projects, man. Probably 2011, probably top of the years, I'll start recording.
Cool.
I'm really not gonna record any more projects right now because I just want to finish touring and promoting this joint. But once January comes, I'm gonna start recording more projects. Doesn't mean you won't get a song or a feature or a freestyle between now and then, but I won't start working on no new tapes or no new albums until. You already know what it is. It's your man Skyzoo, Skyzoo, live from the borough. Name says it all. The domain name explains it all, man. Where's my 40acres.com? Let's get it.